What we're about to do now is a panel from my keynotes. This is gonna be a powerhouse here. What they're gonna do, they're gonna talk about the very first bullies in life. And I've introduced myself to them. I've had conversations with them. They're very passionate about this, so I think it's something to really soak in, right? So right here, we got the Miss Wendy Carter. Can we get a little clap for her? We got Mr. Mastermind. The thing I love about him very early, as soon as you recognize him, he points to bless up God, right? That's where he pointed to, right? And we have the teen prodigy herself, Sumer Strawbree, not strawberry, teen prodigy herself. So y'all take some notes, let this soak in, all right? We good? Go.
We are going to be recording the keynote presenters, so we're going to ask that if you have your cell phones, if you'll please put those on vibrate for us right now. And then we're going to ask if you have to have a conversation, if y'all could step outside in the main part, because we want to make sure that every seed that is dropped from these stories that you're about to hear gets captured in high quality. So without further ado, Mastermind, it's on you.
I looked up and I had a gun pointed right at me. You can feel life just as you can feel death around the corner. I'm gonna say that one more time. Just as you feel life and it's good, when that gun is pointed directly at you, you can feel death, the spirit of death. The guy that did it, he was 20 years older than I was. This was 1 year after 9/11, September 11, 2001. I was on my way to my brother's graduation in another state, and so I had to drive from Orlando to Jacksonville. I just got my car out of the shop, had a 1986 300E Mercedes. My mechanic just fixed my car, so I thought. I'm on I-4, cylinders are going out, it's putt-putting. I'm on I-95, I'm trying to go 60, it's only going 40. I pull off on the side of the road on I-95, put up my hood on my car, try to diagnose what was going on with it, couldn't figure it out. Then a 16-wheeler pulls up right behind me. You know, here in Florida, nobody stops for anybody just because you're on the side of the road. 16-wheeler truck pulls up right behind me with my hood up in the car. The gentleman, he gets out, walking slowly towards me, and says, I have some truck oil if you want some. But of course, I wasn't in a truck, I was in a car, I was in an old school Mercedes. I said, I'll try it out. And before he left, he gave me 7 words. Be careful out here on these roads because they're dangerous. Be careful out here on these roads because they're dangerous. And then he drove away. I got back in my car. It was still idling very rough. And I decided to stop off at a Chevron gas station, which is about 2.5 miles up the road. I turned off the road. This is the era of payphones, and so I did not have a cell phone at that time. I went to a quad of payphones at this gas station. Quad meaning there's 4 payphones, 2 on one side, 2 on the other side. And as I'm calling my mechanic to ask him what is going on with my car, because I have to make it to Jacksonville to catch a Greyhound bus, because I was in college at the time, only $20 in my pocket. to go to my brother's graduation in a different state. I need you to tell me what's going on with my car as I'm talking to my mechanic. He's panicking. He doesn't know what's going on with it. I just said he just fixed it. As I'm on the phone with my mechanic, an F-150 pulls up, looked like it was brand new, and it blocks my view from the people that are pumping gas. And it's summertime. The sun is out. And you know, back in the day, the payphones sometimes be pretty far away from the actual store. So the store is way back that way. Payphones where I'm standing at, pumping gas is this way. They block my car with this big old truck as I got the hood up on it. The driver gets out. He's on the other side of the payphone. The passenger, he gets out, just pacing back and forth. They look like clean-cut guys. Nothing that alarmed me. I take the phone handle and click. As soon as I put that phone handle up on that payphone, the driver gets back inside the truck. The passenger steps right in front of me. My adrenaline's running real high right now because I know I need to make it to my destination, which is Jacksonville. As soon as I take a step forward back to my car, the gentleman that was 20 plus years older than me, he looked just like me. He says, "Get in the car." My adrenaline's high, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, what is he talking about? Get in the car. I happen to look down to his side, and there's the gun. Had it real close to conceal it from everybody else that's pumping gas at the gas station. And as I see this gun, my life flashes before me just like a deck of cards, like, I could see myself looking down at myself. I see death. I could feel death. I could smell death. And I asked the guy, "What do you want, my keys?" He says, "Get in the car." By that time, I could feel that bullet. I could feel the fact that he's going to shoot me. Right here, my midsection, I could feel it. And so instinct kicked in. I'm on my toes. "What do you want, my keys?" Trying to distract him. He says, "Get in the car." I ask him one more time, "What do you want, my keys?" He doesn't say anything at all. And in that instant, something says, "You've got to get out of here." That was God. You've got to get out of here. Because the normal rational brain is saying, if he doesn't want my keys, but he wants me to get in the car, what does he want? So I take off running in slow motion, clenching my back, ready for that bullet. Still moving. Clenching my back, still moving. Ready for that bullet. Clenching my back, still moving, ready for that bullet. Past everybody pumping gas. I make it up to the door of the store, open it up. I look back, and the same guy that pulled the gun on me, he's still looking at me. I'm looking at him. He's looking back at me. I'm looking at him, and he's looking back at me. In that instant, I thought it was odd that he's just sitting there looking at me. He's looking at me, but he's not saying anything. The driver is not telling him to hurry up and get back in the truck. I get inside and I talk to the store clerk and I say, "They just pulled a gun on me," as I'm stuttering and out of breath. And the store clerk says, "I could tell something was going on." These people look just like me, 20 years older than me. I can tell that they had a cycle of violence within their life, a cycle of poverty within their life, a cycle of bullying within their life, a cycle of I don't care in their life. But there's one thing that I know, and I learned this over time that even though a decade later, it was very hard for me to pump gas without looking around, anxious and nervous that somebody was going to come and shoot me again. Not shoot me again, but try to shoot me, pull that gun on me. I learned that I had to master my own mind and get those negative thoughts and say that's old news. That's not, that happened 10 years ago. 15 years ago, I had to get that out of my mind. Even though it happened to me and it stored it within my DNA and I could still feel it because it was still there, the same experience, perspiration, all that stuff. I could still feel it, but I had to learn how to master my mind's statements in verbal form, written form. And it took me a while, but what I realized is that when that guy was looking at me, there was an angel that was carrying me all the way to safety. There was an angel that blocked him from wanting to pull that trigger. There was an angel that blocked them from hopping in that truck like they should have did and getting back on I-95 as I was running. And that's why I say, bless up God. Praise and thank him every single day, whether adverse circumstances or you're having good circumstances. And these cycles of violence and bullying have to stop.
You ever notice that the same walls that you build up to keep you safe are actually the same walls that are keeping you stuck? I have a confession. For years, I wore, "I got this," like body armor. Sometimes I called it strength. Other times I called it professionalism. But in truth, it was protection disguised as independence. See, my walls went up way before I became an adult. It started at home. My mother truly loved me, but she was fighting her own demons. And her words cut sharper than any belt. And I learned in those moments that criticism was love and maybe silence was safety. And I started to learn the two roles in the cycle of abuse: victim and bully. And after a while, I got really comfortable in the role of victim, not realizing that it was keeping me small, thinking that it would keep me safe. Happened again to 5th grade. One day out of nowhere, my friends decided in the cafeteria to move their chairs away from me. There was no warning, it was just silence. Next year, new school, new friends, same freeze out. Different faces, same rejection. It was in that moment I decided I am going to be the smiling face with a silent "do not disturb" sign over my heart that will keep heartbreak out and safety in. The stories didn't stop there. Followed me into adulthood, showed up in my relationships. I felt like shrinking would absolutely keep me safe. And at work, you know what? If they take credit for my ideas, it's all good. Didn't realize I was still playing the role of victim, trying to find safety. One day, those walls came crumbling down. It was my last day in corporate America, and I was having lunch with my leader at the time, and I was telling her my old favorite victim story of, I felt so uncomfortable being a leader. Oh, it was so uncomfortable for me. She grabbed my hand and she said, "Wendy, when you decided to become a leader, you gave up the right to be comfortable." It struck me in my stomach. I recognized that in that moment, being comfortable had become my new bully. It was quiet, It was convincing, but it was extremely costly. And I recognized I had to do something about it. The first step was awareness. Really seeing the patterns for what they were. Recognizing that, yes, it's been a long life story, but it doesn't have to continue, and I can disrupt the loop. The next step was agency. I recognized that, hey, I can start choosing myself rather than waiting for somebody else to choose me. The last step was alchemy, recognizing that I can turn this pain into purpose. So I took off that armor of I got this, and I started asking for help. I started building community, partnerships, and true friendships. And when that drawbridge went down, oh, the doors flew open. The truth is, everyone here has played each role. Victim and bully. You've either wounded or you've been the one to carry the wound. The true antidote to ACEs is in healing, where you get to transform your story. So I invite you to speak to your younger self and say, hey, you're safe now. You can start living. Let's stop living the survival story and start writing a new one. Thank you.
Who in this room has ever faced bullying before? So you know what it feels like to feel alone, going through that adversity. You know what it feels like to lose that confidence that you once had. And you know what it feels like when that moment you feel different from everybody else. So starting in the 4th grade, I began getting bullied. At the time, starting in kindergarten, that's when your teeth start to fall out, they start to grow back in. But for me, it was different because I was the one who had one tooth that was straight and the other one that was crooked, like really crooked. And that led to people who I thought were my friends to begin bullying me about my looks. And just recently, I remembered that one of my classmates, he just told me this statement. He asked me this. He said, "You know you're ugly, right?" And I really just remembered that like a few weeks ago. And that moment right there, when my friends started to turn on me, that's when I realized, maybe I am ugly. So I was like 8 or 9 years old, and that same message in my mind stayed with me for so many years. And so thankfully, one day I came home, or I was out somewhere with my dad, and we were out somewhere, so, want to take a photo to, create a memory. And I used to smile, showing my teeth all the time. All of my teeth, it was a big smile. But one day, I stopped smiling, showing my teeth. And that's the thing that my dad noticed. It was something so subconscious that it just became a habit for me to stop smiling, showing my teeth. And so my dad asked me, "Why are you not, you used to smile, showing your teeth, like a big smile." And I told him, "My classmates are talking about my teeth being crooked." And that's when he told me that I was being bullied. Because I thought, it's a joke, they're joking around. We're in the 4th grade, everything's a joke. Maybe they're just kidding. And it was something so subconscious that it became something where it became a habit. And that's the point where I started to lose my self-confidence, my self-esteem. and who I used to be. You know, I was in Times Square, I would always dance, you know. I love dancing, I love gymnastics, and that's what made me feel confident. But after being bullied, that confidence went away. So then, my dad thought it was a great idea, which it was, to introduce me to something so powerful that would change my mindset forever. Positive affirmations. Saying those I am affirmations every single day. He would tell me to, do the power pose, which is positive body language. So I'd say my affirmations before going to school, after school, and before going to sleep. And that was the formula that he gave me to rebuild that confidence that I once had. And since then, I came out with my affirmation coloring books for girls' confidence so they could have a tool to build that confidence that they'll need for adulthood. And since then, I've been on the Kelly Clarkson Show, Good Morning America, ABC News Live, and every news station in Orlando. Thank you. I was also on Star 94.5 as well, yes. And I've been recognized by Mayor Demings at the State of the County speech. I've also recently been nominated or recognized as a young mogul in Atlanta. So I travel from Atlanta to Orlando all the time for the different things that are going on up there. So I made it my mission because I felt like I was alone. I had low self-esteem, low confidence, but I wanted to be my responsibility to help all the girls in my generation and the generation after me to have the confidence that they'll need for life because it's so important. Any space that you go into, you will need that confidence. And I'm sure all of you adults here understand that and know that. So I want us to do something really quickly. I want you guys to repeat after me. Are you guys ready? And I want some energy, okay? I know it's the morning time, but we need some energy in the room. Are you guys ready? Yes. So repeat after me. I am safe. I know who I am. I have a purpose in my life. Let's say that again. I have a purpose in my life. One more. I am not my circumstances. Let's say that again. I am not my circumstances. And I want you guys to really understand that. And if you guys can join me as well. And I want you guys to stand up as well, okay? So we're going to do this. So I'm going to ask you guys, are you an antidote? And I want you guys to say, I am an antidote. So we're going to do this. I'm going to say this 3 times. Are you guys ready? All right. Are you an antidote? I am an antidote. Are you an antidote? I am an antidote. Are you an antidote? And believe it because you guys are. So thank you so much.
Can we make some noise for our keynote speakers?
One more time. Come on, one more time. One more time. I got chills. First, I'm gonna let a little secret, a cat out the bag. When Sumer Strawbree, get her name right, when she said her dad did that for her, I knew that I needed her dad to be a part of this story because if we can be antidotes as adults, we can make it so much easier not easier, but we can help our kids get through and navigate kids who come without. And so I knew that when I saw Sumer's work, I wanted to know who was behind this prodigy. I was like, something's got to be behind this. Besides God, it's got to be something else, right? I would like for you to meet Sumer's father. I can't be Sam, come get this microphone before I cry. This is the solution. We could end the summit right here. This is solution. This is the solution. We adults are the solution. Sumer would not be here today if Mastermind hadn't done his master work on his mind, right? And what you've heard in these last couple of hours are words. God's way of allowing us to talk to one another. In the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God, right? You just heard some seeds of wisdom. Say it again. Go ahead. And God was the Word. Are y'all with me? Right? Powerful testimony of what we can do when we recognize we are the solution. And solution was misspelled, if you will, on accident, but there's no accidents, right? We are the solution. So again, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Miss Wendy. Thank you, Miss Wendy. Thank you for recognizing. Thank you. Oh, awesome. All right, we are behind schedule, of course, but it's okay. You guys are gonna hear one more announcement before you transition to your workshops. We do wanna do a quick moment and ask you guys to turn to your workbooks. I'm gonna turn it over to Sam. However, we are gonna be about 10 minutes behind, so we're gonna ask that workshop presenters, you stay on schedule, go ahead and end this workshop on time, and then for those of you guys that are here with us for the rest of the day, after you come from your workshops, this will be your next stopping place for lunch. We're gonna have lunch together and we have another show. So before you leave, I gotta turn it over to Sam.
I feel like it's a setup to turn it over to me now. And I want to acknowledge everyone, but Sumer Strawbree spoke to my little strawberry self, for real. I do want to just thank them for proving once again that spelling is casting a spell, and that hurt people, but heal people, heal people. And we are the solution, and this is all possible thanks to our incredibly generous sponsors. I really want to acknowledge Star Network. Thank you so, so much, Jamie. The Parallel Foundation, Jeremiah's Italian Ice. I can't read these two. Tiffas and X Blue. Also, Ritz Production and my branding and printing company, SG Inc. is so proud to be a sponsor. Thank you all so, so, so much. It is not possible without you. It's not cliche. It literally is not. So thank you so much. For those that know where your classroom is, if you are here in this building, they're out and to the left. If you are in the building across the street, you walk down the hall, go through the main entrance upstairs. There are volunteers in purple shirts to help guide you. You will end on time. You might see me gallivanting through like an RA. So just remember to engage in your workbook, and the idea is to earn stickers and be entered into a raffle. So we'll see you back here for lunch.